Good morning. You're listening to the Brief Wake Up, your mindful start to the day. I'm Handel, your daily coffee companion, helping you wake up informed, thoughtful, and maybe a little bit more amused before the day gets old. If you're commuting, corralling kids, or just standing in line for caffeine, you're in the right place. Let's get you caught up. Let's start with what's important your health. Vitamin toxicity, when more isn't better. We've been told for years that vitamins are the ultimate health insurance. A daily multivitamin, a little extra C, and maybe some D just in case. But here's a twist. Your body isn't a storage locker for good intentions. Take too much of certain vitamins, and you can tip from healthy to harmful without even realizing it. This is what's called hypervitaminosis or vitamin toxicity. It happens when supplements overload your system faster than your body can process them. Let's break that down. Water-soluble vitamins, like vitamin C and the B complex, usually wash out in urine. But even they too can backfire in high doses. Too much C can irritate your stomach and kidneys, and extreme B6 can cause nerve damage. The bigger danger comes from the fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, because they are stored in your body's fat and liver. That means the effects will slowly build over time. Too much vitamin A can lead to dizziness, bone pain, and liver injury. Excess vitamin D can raise your calcium levels so high that your kidney develops stones or heart develops rhythm problems. Even vitamin E, praised for its antioxidant benefits, can increase bleeding risk in high doses or interact with medications like blood thinners. And here's the irony. Most people don't get vitamin toxicity from food. They get it from supplements, the just-in-case pills we take without realizing our diet already covers the basics. So what's the smarter play? Use your food as main source of nutrients and treat supplements like precision tools, not daily candy. If you're taking high doses of vitamins long term, check your blood levels and talk to your doctor or pharmacist about the safe limits. Because in nutrition, as in life, balance always beats excess. And now for the news. Trump and Xi Jinping meet. Signs of a trade truce. In Busan, South Korea, Presidents Donald Trump and Xi Jinping met face-to-face for the first time in more than 6 years. A moment many analysts see as a first step towards cooling one of the world's most complicated rivalries. The meeting produced what both sides are calling a one-year trade truce. According to Reuters and the Financial Times, the U.S. will hold off on new export controls targeting Chinese firms, while China agreed to maintain its export of rare earth minerals, crucial materials for everything from electronic vehicles to defense technology. Trump also announced tariff reductions, including lowering duties on certain Chinese imports linked to pharmaceutical precursors and electronics. In return, Beijing promised to resume large-scale purchases of American soybeans and energy products, a move that could benefit U.S. farmers heading into 2026. But not everything made it to the table. Both leaders confirmed that Taiwan was not discussed, sidestepping one of the most sensitive issues in U.S.-China relations. Observers say that omission was likely intentional, a way to keep the tone cooperative and focused on economy, not geopolitics. Still, the atmosphere in Busan was described as cautiously optimistic. Editorials from Bloomberg and the Washington Post note that while this was not a sweeping peace deal, it's a meaningful pause, a reset in tone after years of escalating tariffs, sanctions, and mistrust. What's next? In the coming months, watch for follow-up talks on semiconductor exports and AI technology. Both countries are still maneuvering for advantage in those sectors, and any progress there will show whether its truce has real staying power. For now, the handshake between Trump and Xi marks a rare moment of détente between two economic heavyweights, a reminder that even in a divided world, cooperation sometimes makes a comeback. Now on to tech and culture. The origin of Halloween. Before the costumes, candy, and plastic skeletons, Halloween was a night of fear and fire, a time when people believed the boundary between the living and the dead grew thin. It began over 2,000 years ago with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. This was celebrated on October 31st, the last day of the harvest season. Celts believed that on this night, spirits would cross into the human world. Bonfires were lit to ward off wandering souls, and people wore disguises, not to entertain, but to confuse the dead. When Christianity spread through Europe, the church rebranded the pagan festival as All Hallows Eve, the night before All Saints' Day, a time to honor the holy and remember the departed. Over centuries, that mix of superstition and faith evolved into a cultural hybrid. Prayers for the dead blended with neighborhood rituals, storytelling, and communal feasts. Fast forward to the 1800s. Irish and Scottish immigrants carried those traditions to America, where they took on new life. Pumpkins replaced turnips for carving, children began dressing up for treats instead of protection, and Halloween slowly shifted from scary to social. By the mid-20th century, it became a night of costumes, candy, and community. Today, it's gone fully digital, complete with AI-generated costumes, viral makeup tutorials, and virtual haunted houses. Even our fear has an algorithm now. The same impulse that once made people light bonfires now drives them to upload ghost filters and stream horror movies. And maybe that's the real through line. Halloween has always been about facing what scares us together. Whether around a fire or behind a phone screen, it's still the same ritual. A night to blur the line between the world we know and the one we imagine. And on to the big sip. Recency bias. What the latest thing feels the truest. Ever notice how the last thing that happens to you feels like the thing that defines everything? You can have a great week with the one stressful email on Friday night, and suddenly it's the week from hell. That's recency bias at work. Our mind's habit of giving more weight to what's just happened, even if it doesn't represent the whole story. It's not because we are irrational. It's how our memory system is built. The brain is wired to store and recall fresh events more easily. They're right on the mental top shelf. That made sense for survival. If a lion attacked near the watering hole yesterday, you'd want that memory front and center. But in modern life, that same wiring can distort how we see progress, people, and even ourselves. Think about it. An investor sees a stock crash this week and assumes the market's doomed, forgetting years of growth. A manager writes a performance review but only recalls the last 2 weeks of work, failing because of one rough morning, overlooking all the quiet wins that came before it. Recency bias tricks us into mistaking the latest for the truest, and that can lead to overcorrections. Quitting projects too soon, doubting relationships, or chasing trends that feel urgent but aren't. So how do you fight it? Start by zoning out. When something feels big, ask yourself, is this part of a pattern or just the most recent data point? Write things down. A journal or tracker helps you see the bigger picture, not just today's mood. And maybe most importantly, don't decide in the heat of the moment. Let a few days pass. Time has a way of deflating emotional noise. But here's the twist. Recency bias isn't always the enemy. You can actually use it to your advantage. If you're performing, presenting, or interviewing, going last can make you more memorable. People tend to remember the final act, the closing argument, the last voice they hear. Even in daily life, ending an interaction such as a meeting, a message, a day with your child, on a calm or encouraging note helps define how the interaction is remembered. The truth is, most life's patterns only reveal themselves in hindsight, after the emotional fog clears. So before you rewrite the story of your week, your work, or your worth based on the last 5 minutes, remember, your mind may be favoring the chapter, but you still get to decide how the story ends. Now on for the lighter roast. Chivalry, dead, evolved, or misunderstood? Did chivalry die or was it killed? We love to say chivalry's dead, as if it quietly passed away in the night somewhere between dating apps and Dutch splits. But maybe the question isn't when it died, maybe it's who pulled the plug. Traditionally, chivalry meant men opening doors, paying for dinner, walking on the street side, gestures of respect. But let's be honest, it was also built in a time when women were expected to be delicate, dependent, and quiet. So when equality walked in, the old script got rewritten. Some say feminism killed chivalry. Others say it simply evolved. Today, chivalry might look less like a man carrying a woman's bag and more like two people carrying life together. It's offering kindness without expectation. It's respect without hierarchy. It's a man listening as much as he leads, and a woman knowing she doesn't need saving to still deserve care. So maybe chivalry didn't die. It just took off its armor, stopped riding the horse, and learned to walk beside us. If you open a door for someone today, do it because you're decent, not because of gender. Because real courtesy doesn't need a gender code. It just needs intention. But that brings us to the real question. If chivalry isn't dead, do women want it anymore? What do women want? Chivalry or equality? Here's the modern riddle. Women say they want equality, but some still appreciate a little old school chivalry. So what's the deal? Do they want the door opened, or just the respect that comes with the gesture? The truth is, most women don't want chivalry gone. They just don't want it confused with control. The old version came bundled with power dynamics. A man leads and a woman follows. But today's version is about thoughtfulness. Small intentional acts that say, I see you, I respect you. When a man offers his jacket, it's not, you're fragile. It's, I care if you're cold. When someone pays for dinner, it's not a transaction, it's an expression. The mono responds, thank you, and maybe I'll get the next one. What women really want isn't a return to Middle Ages. It's mutual courtesy with a pulse. Confidence without entitlement. Kindness without keeping score. The line between respect and performance is thin, and most people can tell the difference. If chivalry comes with ego, it feels outdated. If it comes with sincerity, it feels rare. So maybe the question isn't whether women want chivalry, it's whether men can offer it without expecting applause. Because in the end, it's not about who opens the door, it's about both of you walking through it like equals. And lastly, for our closing pour. Before we close, a quick pour of perspective. Each day commemorates something. A reminder of the struggles of the past and what's valuing in the present so we can walk wisely into the future. And for our October 31st commemoration, Happy Halloween or Happy All Hallows Eve. Be safe and enjoy yourself tonight. For a history buff, it's also Reformation Day, the date Martin Luther posted his 95 Thesis in 1517, sparking the Protestant Reformation. And globally, it's recognized in some places as National Unity Day in India, honoring Sardar Patel's birth and his role in unifying the nation. So depending on where you are, October 31st might mean costumes and candy, courage and conviction, or unity and nation building. I'm Handel. Be curious, be kind, and top off that cup.